Welcome back to Rachel B. The Healthy Weed. Today we're going to continue our summer series with some fun flamingo nails. Let me go ahead and tell you what we're going to be using today. Today I'm going to use some of these self-adhesive nail stickers. I know sometimes people have issues getting them to stick or look right, so we're going to try and work with some pre-prepared ones today that honestly aren't the best quality to see what we can get out of it. We're also going to be using some self-adhesive stickers, a couple different water slide decals. These decals, because I like the flamingos, I think they're supposed to be self-adhesive. They're interesting, to be honest. I'm not super impressed, but it was part of my design, so I'm gonna go with it, but can't say I love them. We're gonna sugar a few nails, which of course will take that and a top coat. We are going to do some foiling, so we've got some foil glue here. We are also going to do some rhinestone accents, which we have our gel and our rhinestones for. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start with this set here. And as you can see, I went ahead and sugared this nail, and this is black. We've got some really pretty pinks, which are very fun and summery. And as you can also see, I went ahead and stayed with our shorter length since, again, this is probably more common for people because they're a lot easier to work with. The really long nails are super fun to design, but for most people, they're not realistic. Even I have my nails super short right now because all the stuff we're doing on the farm, it's just not cool to have the long nails on at the moment. I also want to apologize in advance. I know there's always noise in the background with the goslings in the house. Bear with me. All right, so let's go ahead and do our second accent nail here. Which for this, because whatever these are, which they advertised as being like a nail sticker, they're not sticky at all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some adhesive, like I was doing a foil on the nail, to make it sticky so that we can stick one. So we're gonna go ahead and take this and cure it. And this is the little decal we're going to use. To even get this off the backing, I had to go ahead and put some matte top coat on the actual, I don't know, decal, I guess is what you would call it, to get it off. But it's not a normal like water slide because it's a three-dimensional, and it's not a sticker. So I'm not sure what they are. And as I said, little disappointed, if I'm 100% honest, in the purchase. So although the decals are really pretty, the application and working with them is not so fun. So since this is out of the lamp, we're going to go ahead and smooth this down, just like if we were working with a foil. And once we've got that attached, we're going to go ahead and top coat it so we can get it sealed on. I'm going to do a fairly thin coat because I don't want to lose the 3D effect of the sticker. And we're going to get that cured. And when I come back, I'll show you that set finished, and then we'll switch it up with some different applications. All right, so there we have a very simple, just pretty set that's very summer-esque. You've got your fun flamingo, your sugared black nail, and then these bright pink nails, which you could use any pink you want. As you see, the flamingo has varying shades. So let's go ahead and get on to the next. So with the next, let's go ahead and pull these two out and move this to the center. And we're gonna come in with two green nails. And honestly, just the green and the pink are rather fun because honestly they kind of remind me of watermelon. But what we're gonna do is we're going to use the nail foil glue, and with this one I want to see your brush spread like that. See how the brush is spreading out? That means that I'm doing a thin coat. I'm not allowing a lot to stick on there. because I'm not just letting it sit. So we're gonna go ahead and cure this because this is a gel nail foil glue. And then when it comes out, we are going to use this foil, which I thought had kind of a fun tropical situation going on and would work really nicely for our application. So we got our 2 pieces there. I find it easier to work with foils if the foils are already cut to a smaller section. You can see what you think, but in my opinion, I find it easier to bend it around when it's not a huge piece that I'm trying to get going. So that's just a trick from me to you. And while it's still warm, I want to set both of these on and then start rubbing. Now that can be done with just your finger, or you can also even use like a orange stick, cuticle stick. And this is a semi-see-through. And the only reason I bring that up is a lot of the semi-see-through foils that don't have like a solid pattern to them are harder to transfer. So just be aware that might take a little bit more time and energy to get this to transfer. And sometimes they're spotty. I'm going to try for you guys, but I make no guarantees, unfortunately, because it's highly possible it might be a bit of a spotty transfer. Nail foils can be unpredictable at times, but they're so fun because when they work out, they're so pretty. So let's go ahead and see what we got. And honestly, that transferred really nicely. Let's see over here. You hear the gosling, somebody's hooting and hollering in there. And that one also transferred really pretty. So, bonus today. And obviously we'll need to top coat those. And then what I would recommend to spice it up a little, we are going to sugar the pinky nail, which I think will just be fun. So again, you want a decent coat, but not too much. I don't want to see as much spreading of the, I apologize, I just grabbed Matt. You don't want to see as much spreading of the brush because you do want a decent coat because the glitter does need something to attach itself to, and that's the wet top coat. So once we've got a nice little layer of that on there, we are going to go ahead and open our pink glitter. Has a little bit of a halo effect, which is really pretty. And we're gonna make sure we cover every surface. You guys know I did a little video on sugaring, so that should be pretty simple for you. A little tap, tap, tap to get the excess off. And then we're gonna cure that for 1 minute and bring it out and brush it off. And I'm also gonna top coat the other nails we just did, and then I'll show you this finished set, and then we'll move on to our next. All right, and there we have our finished look. I matted those 2 floral nails down, and then of course we had the sparkle of the sugared nail. Isn't that pretty? And then of course we had the original look, which was these 2 nails in place of those. But let's go ahead and move on to our next set. So for this set, we're going to go ahead and work with both green and blue, and that's because I drew colors out of these wraps. So let's go ahead and get this open. So for these, they open like so. Now this particular set I bought on Amazon, and they indicated, people said they were cute, but they wrinkled and they, you know, just when they stretched them, they looked distorted. So we're gonna work on a couple of those things. So using my trusty little we're going to, now first thing, my first tip is to go ahead and use a color underneath that matches. So see how this base color matches that? Because if the sticker doesn't fit fully, it's a good way to kind of camouflage, if you will, the fact that maybe it isn't as perfect a fit as one would like. And then I give a little bit of stretch at the top and at the sides. I think you have to think of it like you're doing nail foils, where you're just rubbing the heck out of it because you really want to make sure that it transfers. It's the same thing with these, only rubbing the heck out of it to make sure it sticks. So the other thing people talk about is the stickers bubbling. So the number one thing with bubbling is typically because somebody tries to put a non-gel top coat, so a lacquer top coat on these things will make them bubble like crazy. And I think it's because, and don't quote me on this because I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is a reaction between the plastics, because I don't, you know, these are some sort of plastic, so I think that you have to be careful when you're using lacquer. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use a nail file to get the excess off, but I'm going to wrap the other ones. And always make sure, if anything, that this is a little bit bigger than what you think you need, not too small. If it's going to be smaller, then like I said, make sure that the color underneath is apropos to help cover, and then on top of that, that you have a design that will help to conceal any miscoverages. So I'm going to go ahead and finish. So I'm going to raise here and stretch off to the side. That's a good way to get it there. To be honest with you, these are actually, if you asked me, a little bit easier to do when they're on a nail than when they're not. So I'm going to finish that, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you what they look like when you gel top coat them. So gel has a tendency to not wrinkle even the cheesy plastic ones. So I'll be back and we'll see what they look like once they're top coated, and then we'll bling them up with some rhinestones. All right, we went ahead and cured those after we got them on, and that looks pretty cute. But you know what? I thought we could do a couple of little random pearls here and there. So I'm thinking probably one here. And then one here. And maybe one here. Put a little bit of my gel. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab these kind of, these fun like iridescent blue pink pearl halves. They're just really cute. I thought they were appropriate for this particular design. Alright, we're going to go ahead and cure that, and then I'll show you the final finished look, and then we'll move on to another look using these same base colored green nails. Alright, and there we have the finished look on that. Pretty cute, huh? Let's go ahead and switch it up, and I'll show you how to do the next one. All right, and this is the next look that I did. I did kind of a pinkish tone with a couple of these decals because I pulled them out and they're water slides. And if you look close, you can see there's a couple of flamingos there. And then I matted it down, and then I used these self-adhesive gold stickers over top, which I think is really cute. So what we're gonna do is over here on this set, I'm gonna show you some black palm trees, and I'll give you a couple tips and tricks with the water slide decals, because I know a lot of people have problems with that, and especially if you see how small these ones are, they can be typically the ones that are a little bit more difficult. The first thing is I like cutting them close, even though, you know, you don't need to per se. I find it easier to get what I want out of them. So I'm going to grab 2 of these right here, and we're also going to use a couple of the self-adhesive gold. Stickers as well. So this one's kind of bigger, so we're going to put it up and over to the corner, and then we're just going to stick it down, and then we're going to come in with this. Now here's where a couple of tricks. Taking a stamper, one of the easiest things is to take your water slide decal, and I use a makeup sponge, but I have water in it, and I'm just wetting it down because I usually keep a little dish of water in the sponge off to the side. And then of course once it's, give it a second to release itself. Once it's released, I just slide that off. And I've got, and see, normally that's really small, and when you're trying to handle it, it can be really difficult. And since this is see-through, it's gonna go ahead and take a peek through. And I'm gonna drop it and slide it on. Sorry, you do have to make sure that the decal is no longer wet, but that there's a little moisture on the nail. That'll help it to slide on, which is where we're going to go ahead and come in. Slide this on by dropping it. Sorry, I always have a tendency to want to put it up in my face so I can see what's going on. But that doesn't help you guys, does it? Okay, so we went ahead and we placed that. You can even use this to help smooth it, because when you keep it wet, it's easier to move around and mess with it without actually damaging. So now we're gonna lightly dry this, because I want to put another self-adhesive sticker, because we're kind of intertwining the black ones and the gold ones. So I'm going to pull that off, kind of throw that over there, and then we're going to grab this one and get it ready to transfer. And there we go, we have a palm tree nail. All right guys, so we worked on water slide decal nails, adhesive stickers, sugaring, and even a little bit of rhinestones. And on this set, which I think is really cute, so here are options here. You can also put in place those, or here we can put in place these. So if either of those work for you and you like them, I hope you use some of the ideas you found here, or some of the techniques, since we worked with everything from foils to sugaring to self-adhesive, as well as water slide decals. And we even talked about how to work more effectively with the nail stickers. Now again, when they're cheaper nail stickers, try not to stretch them too much. Secondly, do an undercoating that is similar to the background, so if it doesn't fit appropriately, you can cover that. And the third and final, I do not think they react well with lacquer. That is my opinion. I don't know the chemical compounds to be very specific, but they don't wrinkle when you use a gel top coat. Plus, if you seal it in with a gel top coat, those bad boys are gonna last like weeks. So hope this helps and you give it a try and you enjoyed our fun tropical flamingo nails, and tune in next time for our next summer series. Thanks for watching.